Okay, great. Thank you. So my name's Cameron Weber. I'm from New York. I teach economics and economic history at St. John's University. And a couple ideas that you just brought up, I'll be addressing directly.
Great.
For example, my paper is from a classical liberal point of view, not a neoliberal. When I think of neoliberal, I think of sovereign states turning themselves over to the IMF, the World Bank, and the WTO. Where classical liberal is a little something different. And yes, in fact, what I am proposing as one possible transformation is dismantling the existing corporate and social welfare. The inefficient and bureaucrat-set social and corporate welfare, a special interest corporate and social welfare which goes to certain people, and then replacing that with a basic income which goes to everyone. And then I use United States government outlay data from 2015 to quantify what the basic income could be in the United States. And also I get into how it could be financed as well. So I forgot to bring the book to show you, but this work that I'm presenting now updates my work in basic income in the free market, Austrian economics, and the potential for efficient redistribution. That book was published in 2013, edited by my friend Guinevere Nell, with 2010 data, but this is 2015 data. So what I did is I classify US government expenditures into three categories. Basic government, which is basically the government that the United States had until 1847, until the creation of the Department of Interior. You had a basic government or a core government in the United States. And then I classify departments into corporate welfare and social welfare, and then replacing corporate welfare and social welfare with a basic income. So total US government outlays are 3.6 trillion, basic government is 1.2 trillion, or 35% of US government expenditures, and the welfare state is 65% of US government expenditures. So what the US population age 18 and over is 242 million people, 18 and over, so we can get rid of the 2.4 trillion welfare state, which would be almost $10,000 per year per person, age 18 and over, which goes to everyone, unlike corporate and social welfare, which goes to certain people. The poverty level in the lower 48 states is about $12,000, so the basic income would be cover 83% of the poverty level, so most everyone would be above the poverty level by replacing the social and corporate welfare state with a basic income. And this excludes local expenditures for the social safety net, so you could almost assume that the basic replacing the corporate and social welfare would in fact bring everyone above the poverty level, and getting rid of the cronyist corporate and social welfare as it is today. So, and then on the revenue side, justice on the revenue side, then just as everyone gets the basic income, everyone pays the same tax. The US government is 19% of the US economy, so what we would do is you would have a flat income tax of 19%, or else a value-added tax of 19%. Which would vastly uncomplicated, or vastly complicated tax code in the United States, again, which is highly cronyist. We've all heard of Donald Trump's $1 billion in capital expenditures. That simply is corporate welfare giving tax breaks to corporations to do federally set capital projects instead of locally set capital projects. So as a classical liberal, I enjoy economic growth because it reduces absolute poverty, right? We're all living twice as long as we did 100 years ago, have indoor plumbing, electricity. You've heard all this a million times. So you'll see that the government, core government, is 6.3%. The basic income, which is now, used to be corporate and social welfare, is 13%, so the total federal government is 19%. What I would think is once you get rid of bureaucrats setting food stamps, bureaucrats setting housing vouchers, bureaucrats setting transportation costs, and you turn that over to the individual, then you would start to see market competition for these services and then an increased economic growth. And in addressing the green situation, the largest polluters in the world are the Chinese government and the US government. So turning over the greening of the economy to the state is not my recommendation, rather consumer sovereignty. People choose green energy on their own. Oh yeah, and then as the economic growth recommences, people will say, wait a minute, I'm not so interested in paying 19% tax, perhaps I just want core government, and then you would have decentralized social philanthropy, which we learned of, altruism as a means of community building, which we had up until the New Deal in the United States. And here's the list of corporate and social welfare and core government. I put in the Department of Homeland. How much time do I have?
Oh, you have plenty of time, 30 minutes.
Okay. So I put, you can't really see that, but basic government also includes